would it actually be in a way? I believe in enchantment, magic, like magic affecting uh, the mind, kind of like being tricky in a way in battle, like his command spell and hold person spell that have been very helpful in certain combat scenarios.
So I guess that would be enchantment magic, the school.
Yes, yes, enchantment. Yes, that's why I said the skull of enchantment.
Yeah.
I think Mikkel, or rather Mikkel, likes a bit of evocation and abjuration for his shield of faith, tried and tested, old faithful, and just conjuring, well, evoking things into the world.
Good blacksmith needs a little bit of command over the elements.
That is true.
Close to this point, last week we got a little glimpse at a lead into some darker blood magic, which I know is not technically a school of magic in D&D, but it's a vibe.
Mm.
Yeah, Gordon probably goes with abjuration, with the amount of times he uses Shield of Faith
Uh,
and protection for good and evil. I guess maybe blood will change it. Yet to be seen.
That's a super easy one. Primal tradition. A school of magic doesn't exist anymore.
Because which magic doesn't exist anymore?
School of Magics. They was retired earlier this year.
Okay, well, as far as I'm concerned, we're still playing 5e from
2014.
mm-hmm. Oh, what's this?
I guess.
Oh, okay.
Well, with that, I assume Dave is listening in, but has anyone got a recap for us?
Yep, I can do it.
Yeah, wasn't that much last week.
Yeah, yeah. I don't mind being like the official scribe for this group, but yeah. So, so, last session, we arrived in assisting the Sakatoka or ships that was being under attack by the Sentinels Covenant, and we were able to uh, successfully save the heavily damaged ship and its crew. And in the process, we we were able to get one prisoner, the druidic spellcaster that was in the Sentinels Covenant, and we later learned that apparently the reason why the Sentinels Covenant were after the Sakatoka ship is because of a from what we heard, a misunderstanding where within the Sakatoka ship they had one of these artifacts of the Sentinels Covenant, and basically there were figures of wondrous power that could basically summon summon creatures from these figures. And from what I remember what there was a couple, and one of them was silver ravens, and I know there was much more, but I didn't write them down. But yeah, there was figures of wondrous power, and and in the process, we we have the prisoner from the coven, and decided to basically bring him back to wherever their home turf is, their villages, and basically in an attempt to ease this misunderstanding between Sakatoker and the coven, if possible. Basically returning the figurines to this prisoner and basically send him on his way back to his village if possible, and then somewhat ease down the Sakatoker and coven relationship.
Yeah. So I don't believe you sent him off yet, right? You've
Yeah,
still
yeah,
got
yeah,
just on the ship.
yeah. It's still on
But
the ship. Like we're still right now. We ended off with resting, like with
yeah,
the Sakatoka ship nearby.
No, I think they turned around.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Some of the ships, the one ship fled, the other one was abandoned. But and you managed to. That's what you had kind of looted and dismantled some of the systems that they had. But yeah, last week off, just taken a long rest and sent off some orders for the intrigue in sending some orders off for. I can't actually remember exactly what you were trying to achieve there. I know we made a lore check. I think you were finding a suitable battlefield.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Basically, in the forest.
Yeah,
For
so that we're going to say is going to raise your communications by one as well when the battle starts, which I can't remember the exact benefits right now, but it is going to be. We'll deal with that when we actually get to the battle. Yes. Okay. And yeah, where we pick up, it is just past midnight, and you know that where you will be sailing to next, as you sail further west, you're going to be sailing into the Sentinels Covenant territory. After sailing into battle with Skakutoka, they did not seem too pleased with you on that, but now you do have the cover of night. The sea is kind of illuminated by the moons, and you are ready to set sail. Seems like it's a good night for sailing actually, and you kind of have the option of trying to go stealthily as you continue your journey, or just try and go full speed ahead and see if you happen to encounter them. It is possible, there's at least one other ship out here.
yeah. Mhm.
Hmm, what do y'all
When
think?
you are ready to
No, go ahead. What were you saying, DM?
I was just gonna say when you are ready to start heading out, you can start making your exploration checks, like perception checks for the lookouts, survival checks, all of those things that you usually do in the day, and tell me what you guys do.
Oh, okay.
I can definitely see the advantages in going either at night or, well, stealthily or full speed, but at the same time, I think it would be disadvantageous for us if we do run into a ship to fight it at night. But I guess we do have a lot of magics to counteract that.
So, so,
Quietly.
Quietly.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I concur.
Okay, okay.
Alright, let's go quietly then.
Take it
In
nice
that
and
case,
easy.
you can also on top of the normal checks, you can also all give me a stealth check.
Oh, all of us.
Yeah, it'll be a group stealth check to see
Okay.
how quiet you're able to remain on this journey. You don't have to worry about for the elves and the giant, but
Yeah, just the players in general.
see if you're able to convince Svenja not to sing any battle songs as you sail along.
Alright. So,
Oh boy.
Very stealthy.
Very stealthy.
yep. And then you're gonna make our navigation checks,
Yes, so
survival and perception. Yep.
Yeah, so with those stealth checks, I will say that the moons, I should say, are very bright tonight. Yeah, while they are not all, I don't think there are any actual full moons. That could be mistaken, but it is pretty well lit, the seas tonight, and you can quite clearly see that there is a lot of marine life around you as you're heading off. Let's see with those stealth, the other checks, perception from the lookout especially, and I think survival from Gorm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
$24.
20.
Okay, nice. So as you guys set sail, you find the correct course to continue on along the coastline, and you see that Carmilla, as you're looking out at night, it's actually with your specific condition, quite you're able to see far and quite clearly, as the coastline here is this breathtaking display of rugged cliffs and dense forests, pristine beaches. You can see the wildlife here. This whole area seems to be very well maintained. Like it doesn't look as war torn as some of the other parts of this bay. But you also see that the waters are teeming with marine life, from dolphins and whales to schools of vibrant fish swimming underneath you. You see like patches of bioluminescent schools of fish just swarming underneath, and uh, yeah, you'll see the spray of a whale as it comes up close next to you. And this thing is probably about the same size as one of those dragon eels, but is just a little ways from the ship. And and you see the spray of its blowhole as it breaches the surface, and you're able to tell Gorm not to sail right into it.
Hello there.
Oh, Svenja.
Is in fact Christo, but yes, my character name is Svenja.
Yep.
So yeah, the fish is in the water with the work emergency. Spreadsheets have been sent. Conversations are being had. Operations teams are being panicky, and they may or may not call me back later. So,
Okay, so you,
short
so
version
the-
is I'm here for now, and I'm happy to make it. Apologies for being late then.
no worries. Yeah.
Right, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, the party was just setting sail at night, seemingly quite a bright night tonight, and Kamala's just noticed all the sea life that is surrounding you. The weather is generally quite temperate, as it usually is now with Gorm at the helm. But yeah, you see there are some dolphins swimming alongside the ship, a whale breaching nearby, and it's a nice night to be out on the water.
Hmm.
That sounds like an excellent time to practice some singing and saga writing and telling about giant eels that got fucked so fast they didn't even have time to check if we were wearing a condom.
Oh, wow.
Well, before you joined, we did a group stealth check to see, and I joked that it was to see if they could stop you from singing songs as you continue onwards, and everyone failed the stealth check. So I think that's exactly what we see. As
Yeah.
move us over to
Awesome. You know me too well. I should make a character a little bit more chaotic.
Oh,
And now he can sing Under the Sea.
Always is better down where it's wetter under the sea. You're probably all too young to remember that movie.
No.
No,
What do
no.
you mean?
all the
I believe we all watched the classic Disney movies.
Ah, fantastic.
Here is where we join you as Svenja is singing along, and the rest of you are keeping the ship moving at a fairly steady pace. You will see in the distance a small light coming from a lantern that is hanging on the mast of another ship not too far away. You recognize it fairly quickly, especially with Kamala's check there. Kamala, you recognize it as the other ship that fled from the battle, and they probably hear you coming, but you can also hear them sort of arguing. It seems like they are trying to make repairs to their ship, but you can hear an argument breaking out on board.
Hmm. I assume Carmela notifies us of this ship.
So, what do you guys want to do with these? Surrender? Get them to surrender?
Hmm.
Yeah, let's start. When we
Like-
finished the fight, he told us that they just wanted the relics back. So
Yeah.
we're technically the bad guys here.
what
Plus,
about we the baddies?
plus we do have our prisoner here, so we can just tell them. It basically tell them of our intention and that we'll be on our way if possible. If we can do that.
Okay, so wait, we didn't make them give their relics back to the druids?
We they
Like
gave
we're in the
us
process.
yeah, they get yeah, what was their name? Astrid gave us the relics because we are heading towards the druids, but they are heading back to Skagatoker. So
Yeah,
we have the relics at the moment.
yeah, so we have the relics to give back to the druids, but we also have a prisoner. So basically, Trimir's thought is to kind of like tell them of our intentions by giving the relics to the prisoner and then dropping the prisoner off on the ship. If it's possible, we can invoke our intentions as peaceful.
I agree with Trimer.
Mhm.
Sounds reasonable.
So are you approaching the ship in your
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the game we're playing, what Svenja can do is use her Valkyrie Seance and turn her voice into this loudly angelic voice. And as we get closer, she would call out, "We come in peace. We mean you no harm."
hey, you can
Sounds good.
give a persuasion or performance check for that with I think advantage from that.
Okay, let's see. We're going to go with persuasion at advantage. 24.
Nice. Okay, so as you guys draw closer and these sort of lapping waves, you hear Svenja singing stops, and as she announces that, the arguing stops on the other ship. As you see a couple of the crew members like rushing and grabbing at their shields and spears, just getting ready to defend the ship. But as you hear this angelic voice, they all kind of stop and look at each other with a bit of confusion, and then one of them will bring out the lantern and just hold it forward, just trying to get a better look at who is approaching. They say, "Hold there, strangers. You were in the battle. What do you want with us?"
Well, mostly to return your relics and this guest of ours, uh, and to maybe agree tentatively that we will not be enemies.
Is some kind of trick? We don't have
That
anything here. Ship is badly damaged and we cannot make repairs. We may not make it back to shore. As you see one of the other guys just nudging him in the arm, just going, "Shh, quiet. I told you we should have just gone straight back." And he says, "It's all right. I think. Where are you from? You are not one of the ships from Skakotoka we have seen before."
mm, we are from Braudevik. We have we were at Skakotoker to convince them to not uh, team up with the hags. We're not quite at the point where they would consider themselves allies of ours, but it is important for Mordia that we have a united front against the hags. That is part of what we're working against or for. So they asked us for help as we had just managed to turn hostilities around and not actually knowing why you were pissed off at them. Yeah, I get they stole your holy relics. We helped them. We tried to get your crews to surrender peacefully, but you know how they were. We're essentially traveling through. We want to go. We have no particular fight with you. I would personally prefer that you're on our side rather than against us. I kind of like druids. Spent a lot of time at the Cedar Tower, and so that's it. We're bringing your stuff back We'd prefer not to fight with you. We'd prefer that you are allies. If not allies, then not enemies.
You can make one more persuasion check with advantage here, as they, you see a couple of them are muttering to each other on the as they listen.
Oh crap.
Oh, fuck. 16.
Let's hope that's enough.
Just in case, I'm gonna flash with Junior start.
Oh, okay.
So plus
Nice.
5, 21.
Amazing. Yeah, with that, the 21 will bring it to a success as they see the rest of the people on the ship. Gorm, are you adding something here?
No, I was just trying to read properly and then just send it straight to chat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I get that as well.
Yeah, no, the new system, I know, can be annoying. Yes, so as you are saying this, you see they seem a bit skeptical at first. You can see there's this hesitation that they've clearly been in battle, and they're not sure if they should trust you. But you see, Mikil, you notice that there are a couple of people on their crew that are busy, like they kind of muttering as though they seem to almost recognize you, like they're pointing out, and you recognize that they are kind of trying to figure out if you are who they think you guys are. And you suggest to Svenja to like make a show of the spear that she holds. And when they see that who you guys are, they are going to recognize you as one of them says, "Hold on, you're the ones who slayed Ailson. You are." Please forgive us. We had no idea. Our conflict with Skakotoka has been, well, it has escalated of late, especially since Ailson was destroyed. They're trying to reclaim these forests, and we would never have had the chance if not for you. So, please, you may approach. And they kind of seem to relax a little bit. Like some of them still seem a bit uneasy, but most of them seem on board with trusting you. What you just said.
When we approach, can I like make a check to see how bad is the damage and what they probably need to do?
Yeah, you can. You can make an investigation check with advantage because of your expertise.
Hey.
23.
Very nice. Yeah, you can tell that it might like it might require some skilled labor, but it seems like they have got there is a hole that is on one side of the ship that it is taking on water, and if they don't repair it within the next like hour or so, the ship could start to sink. It looks like there's a lot of damage that was sustained from like arrow fire and things like that, but with those rolls last week, there's for the most part there's like tears in the sails, and there's a one major hole in the deck. Other than that, most of it is superficial. But you would probably, they don't seem to have the supplies is the the big problem, whereas I believe you guys might.
Okay, so Svenja is curious about he's just checking that he said that the weakening of Skakotoka, essentially, which was our doing, has encouraged them to try and reclaim the forests. Did I get that correctly, the direction that went? They were trying to reclaim the forest from Skakutoka, hence the fight.
Well,
Or was Skakutoka trying to take the forest from them? So who's trying to take territory from who here, essentially?
when Ailson had united the clans of Serpent Bay, there were many of these lands that were granted to Skakutoka and to Flostervik. Skakutoka used to technically own this coastline, but after Ailson was defeated, we took it back and we seek to protect it from their raids, which have become increasingly more violent. And after the last raid, when they took some artifacts, we gave chase. We nearly managed to take down one of their ships, but of course they had backup.
Yeah, we had a long debate about that. Do you think there is a way to make peace between the two of you that does not involve the use of force from either party or from ourselves? I'm kind of actually no. So hang on a second, Mikkel. Are you going to help them repair the ship, and we can have a bit of a chat while you're busy doing that, or do we want to
I'll
leave them
help
to their
them.
fate?
Yeah.
I'm a shipwright, so I have a feature that lets me repair on the fly a bit. Not fully
Mhm.
repair, but somewhat.
In case you need the extra help, I can also help
Yeah.
with repairing.
Someone who can walk on the side of the ship should probably be fairly useful.
And scary as shit.
I just need to remove my
Yeah,
helmet.
we killed Elson. I think the scary part is only somewhat there.
Just wait until
Okay.
they see my face.
Ish. Okay, so yeah, I think so. With the sort of broad alignment of the party, Svenja would be seeking some sort of, for her, the win is to have both these groups on our side. Kind of the more allies we have, the better. That's kind of her current thinking. Strength through superior numbers.
Mm, yeah, that seems like a good thing so far because from what we've seen, it seems everyone is quite struggling from within. Basically, after Ailsa, from what we've seen after Ailsa's defeat, it seems a lot of the territories became divided, and and in in a way, we since you have like Ailson's weapon and Gormer's like the new chosen, uh, basically trying to patch it up together again. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not thinking that saying, hey, there is another chosen of Aegir is a good thing, since the last one wasn't exactly friendly.
Yeah, for now at least. History would show that the chosen ones tend to go really saintly and problematic, or really evil and problematic. So, in the longer term, we think Gore might become problematic, but that's not today's problem.
Well,
Okay.
Ailson was definitely a problem for us. We are glad to be rid of him. So if you were the ones that did it, I believe we are already on the right path. Though I should say, if you, I admire your ambition to try and unite o- all of the clans. However, if it were not for the fact that you defeated Ailson, to be honest, your sailing in alongside Skakutoka is enough for us to go to war. You know that we aren't strong enough to take on someone like Radovic. But I should warn you that if you try and make friends with everyone along the coastline, you are going to make more enemies than friends in the end.
Mm.
Most of these places do not get along.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And that's a good thought, actually. So I think there are three choices for anybody that we engage with. It is friends or allies, or enemies, or neutral.
Yeah. Right.
And I am happy that you choose whichever one. I am going to suggest that the hags pose a threat to everybody, and standing with them would make you automatically an enemy. Standing against them, whether it is with us or not with us, makes you a friend. And being neutral probably makes you extinct. But I am not going to force Felty. You have to choose, and you can change your mind, of course, over the longer term. I'm assuming that you need to talk to the tribe. Oh, and incidentally, here is your stuff back, and your friend. He might still be angry at us because a lot of his friends died, a lot of your friends died, and I get that. I do not wish to fight you. If you choose to fight, we will fight. Um, I don't know if there's a Viking culture of um, breaking bread whilst you're in my house, etc., etc., where we essentially agree to not harm each other whilst we're in the same space. That's also an option if that is actually a sort of a known agreement. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't say 100%, but I think that is generally the kind of understanding. Like if you're in the longhouse, that people don't pull out their axes and kill each other. That's if you wanted to fight someone legally and like have a match to the death, you would challenge them to a holmgang. And the idea was to like go out onto an island, just the two of you, like uh, no
Mhm.
rules, you guys sort it out. And I think that kind of morphed into just you know how it works in Mordia. I guess we can kind of decide, but
Okay.
they seem receptive to this what you're saying here. And when you put it in those terms, they're well, the Sentinel's Covenant tries to remain neutral. We we only wish to protect these forests and this coast. The Our warden Ironheart is committed to the Covenant's mission and does not seek to get involved in political matters. However, our neighbors have made that troublesome, and we've had to send our fleets. I mean, these ships are not really made for war, but with the Worm Hunters Conclave sending bears to destroy everything in our forests and the Skakatoka raiding our shores, it is a more difficult job than most.
Hmm. Wonder if we should suggest, just talking to the party, to Skakatoka, that they maybe raid the worm hunters' shores instead, unless there's something you have that is scarce.
Worm hunters are protected by Flostavik, and I would not be surprised if they have been raiding their shores as well. Since Ailson's death, Flostavik and Skakatoka have not been seen eye to eye either. We've unfortunately been caught in the crossfire, which is why we want to prevent any large battles between them taking place in our forests. They are not welcome here, and we will do what we must to ensure that they stay clear of these places.
Mm.
We have a network of concealed encampments within the wilderness where we are able to gather and strategize before embarking on such missions. If you would return with us, you are welcome to explore the Root Heart Grove and perhaps meet with Warden Ironheart. I'm sure they would like assistance if you are willing to aid.
Well, hmm. well, what do you guys think? Right now, for me, I'm quite curious about these tensions going on in this coast. Like right now, from what we've heard, it seems both Plostovic and Sakatoka are on good relations.
Well, open to input here from the others. We do have our giant friend that we have promised to take home, and if we keep on getting sidetracked, he's going to die of old age before he sees his home again.
That is
I, for one, would love to visit there. But maybe for right now, what we agree is we've returned your relics and your friend to you. We will help you repair your ship to the extent that it can limp back to your harbor in exchange for an agreement of safe passage up and down and an invitation to come and visit you. That for me feels like it depends on how urgently our giant friend wants to get home.
Okay. Yeah.
I think after spending a few days in Sakatoker, that's probably getting fairly urgent.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm starting to like Kramer is starting to agree with Svenja. Like, yeah, a giant friend wants to get to his place. And
I mean, I guess we can always just ask him.
yeah, like also we can always come back. Basically, we are open to coming back and talk and see what's up after we finish our business with going to is it Brada? What our giant friend is seeking to go to Brada.
Oh, I think so. See notes. I kind of worried that I'm doing all of the thinking and talking here. So, Mikkel, Camilla,
Yeah.
what do you guys think about that?
well, I do agree with the fact that we should probably get to the
Brada.
broader world. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, not only because we should get our ice giant friend back to where he belongs, but also for our own benefit. Like we can gain access to a legendary forge if we complete this quest.
Yeah.
Which would
Yeah.
benefit both Broderick and the party in long
Yeah,
term.
and yeah. I feel right now we can always come back later. Right now, we have more urgent matters in Brada.
Yeah, I mean, so Svenja also has this hidden try and find out what happened with the Valkyrie and the corrupted tier. So every day that she doesn't have contact with the Valkyrie, you can almost visibly, not visibly see her, but if you think back, you can see that since that 5-6 weeks ago, the fight with the hag, she has become increasingly more not anxious, not grumpy, but hyper vigilant almost. So she's a little bit more intense, not quite the laid back, happy go lucky, just whatever that she was before. So this is clearly taking a toll on her. She may have heard wake up of a nightmare. You haven't been traveling for many days, but she is having more nightmares, and so she does want to go and resolve that as well.
All
Actually,
right.
to that point, Svenja, can you please make a Constitution saving?
Oh shit! What have I done now?
And can Gorm and Mikil, to see as you're repairing the ship, can you guys please make a check? I know that your feature lets you just do the healing, but you may be able to heal it all the way to full.
Oh,
But yeah, can you make a check with Carpenter's tools? Oh, that was with Browdovic's token, so I think it didn't actually add your proper modifier, but that was a nat 20 either way. Yeah, you succeed. You're okay. So yeah, you can feel you've got a bit of chest pain on top of the things you were just describing, but other than that, nothing. Okay, that must be adding your modifiers. It's obviously, I don't know why it's rolling as Broadwick.
1d, no, that was actually, let me see, what would have con save have been? It would have been a +2. Yeah, not as spectacular. But I'll take the nat 20. Thank you for kindness.
Yeah, no. But as you were feeling that a bit, Gorman, Mikhail, you are able to fully repair the ship. At least, I mean, there's cosmetic damage to it, but this thing will happily be able to sail back and is not going to sink in the early hours of this morning.
What is the leader's name? Iron Heart, Iron Fist, Iron.
Warden Freda Ironheart.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I just want to grab a note here.
Yeah, they will point out. They will say, if you do decide that you want to come and speak with our leadership, do you see there over the horizon? Well, not the horizon, but you see hidden in the trees there, and it will point out Camilla as the lookout again. You can give me another perception check, but with advantage.
And add bardic inspiration to that, just in case. 1d8. How much do I have left? Not many I've used.
You've had a long rest, so it should be. Right.
Oh, okay.
Should be back up to 5 uses.
Camilla, are you making that check?
The perception one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the coven people are like pointing to where you want to discuss with your leaders if we ever decide that.
Well,
Oh wow,
that's
yeah.
2 19s.
Okay. Yeah, he points out, and you will see it clearly. There is this, what they call the Verdant Watch Outlook, an observation tower used to monitor the health and sort of balance of the surrounding natural world. But you'll see that this tower looks ancient, and you, with that 25, you recognize that this is not just. It definitely looks like the tower's been taken over by druids and probably the Sentinels Covenant, but you can see that that tower is old, and it reminds you of some of the. Excuse me. Reminds you of some of the old towers you've seen around Raudavik that you've come to learn were created when it was like giants versus dragons around there, and it seems like it was one of those towers which you're pretty sure Kieran would recognize, and that seems to be the place that you have now got on your map, that if you ever come back here, you would be able to find and meet with the Sentinels Covenant through.
Excellent. So those old towers, they've had the, but we haven't quite worked out portals on them, or they're separate.
So you broke up there. Say again.
So these are not the same as the portals we have found with the runes to activate to travel via Yggdrasil.
No, those are ironwood trees that those are actual like pieces of Yggdrasil, natural trees.
Excellent.
But it's like when you look out there, it's like dense forests, and there's a good chance you'd be able to find one of those trees in those forests. With it, it just seems like this faction is dedicated to protecting these wilds, and yeah, you know that there's probably lots of hidden things to to stop people from moving through those lands if you're not friends with the governor.
Yeah, and we will definitely not share that intel that they have these hidden places with anybody else.
Definitely not.
Well, to be fair, you know that going through those forests yourself would be dangerous as hell. They've told you that they have a network that is called the Root Heart Grove, that there are these concealed encampments, but what else is concealed out there? You get the idea that traveling by sea is definitely the safer option around here.
Yeah.
Although it
I'm
will
just-
mean that you'll probably run into the Worm Hunters Conclave because you're sailing into their territory to get to the river. And from what they've just told you, this seems like a kind of hot zone between the two of those factions. That river seems to be a fairly central point, but in their conflict.
I
Okay.
was actually just going to ask, how do we get to Brada? But yes, this is the river going down here from the waypoint marker.
Yeah.
No,
This one, no, it's the one where the token is.
is it that? Oh yeah, sorry. I don't know what I'm.
It probably was just a bit hidden because the token is there, so the entrance was not visible.
Ah,
Yeah, no, the
yes.
other river takes you all the way to Loganov. I don't know.
I think it's this river here.
So the river we want to take to Browder is this one that's coming up here from the waypoint marker, going up sort of northwestish and then kinking up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Worm Hunters Conclave.
That
Yeah,
one.
And that's big size.
as you guys do discuss this with them, they kind of welcome you to come to the Sentinels Covenant if you want, but yeah, it's up to you if you want to try and take another route through their forests, and you know they may have guides and things like that, but that would mean parking your ship somewhere here, and then there is the option of following the route that you were following.
I was actually just thinking the same thing.
Oh, okay. So now we got two options. So we either park our ship near the Sentinels Coven and go through the forest on foot with their guidance to Brada, or continue sailing on through the river, passing by the Worm Hunters Conclave, and then sailing upstream to Brada. So we got those two options. What do you guys think?
We travel, just sort of question, I guess, we travel faster on sea. What is one of these hexes in terms of size again?
6 miles, I think. No,
5.
5.
5 miles. So it's about 2 hours of travel on easy terrain per hex. Through the forest, this means this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 30 odd miles. So 2 days of travel through forest.
Unless the druids have some way to travel quicker.
Yeah, if you can get friendly enough with the Sentinels Covenant, they could definitely help you not get lost in these forests. But it would definitely be a harder journey physically to go through the forests, but potentially safer in terms of interacting with the other factions. But in terms of time, it's probably much of a muchness because you are also going to be going onto that river, which is you're not as fast on the rivers as you are on the sea.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess the only real problem that would be if we travel like upstreams is we're quite open. So in case we do get into combat, which we undoubtedly will be in a bit of a pickle.
Mm. Yeah. I think for Trimer, he would say continuing upstream seems fine to me too. Like we'll always know where our ship is, so that's Trimer's vote. Like going upstream past by to Worm Hunter's Enclave.
Okay.
So, what's the general consensus? Gorm, how do you feel about leaving your ship unguarded, semi-guarded on the coast? How do we feel with trying to get a giant to walk through forests? Because that's also a consideration. And how do we feel about the have a fight with the wormies? Been a few hours since we last walloped somebody, so
Always down for a good fight. Ah, Gorm is gone.
democracy, fight or forest?
Forest.
Mikael, what is your vote?
I like fighting. Fuck it.
What about you, Sonia? What is your vote?
I think fight is good if we're victorious to send a message to Flostovic.
Wait. Right now, recently, like Trimer wasn't there, but Flostovic did kind of send. They did have basically a while back before the Mountain Fortress raid. Flostovic did send basically people to say negotiating with Brodovic, like, hey, we're fine, we don't want any bad blood between us. Basically, trying to enter a neutral relationship with Brodovic and Flostovic recently.
Okay.
Okay, thinking about that, actually, True to Forest wouldn't be so bad. To try not to engage any more tensions with Flostovic, who just recently tried to be neutral with Brodovic.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah. So yes, especially if they're in league with the worm.
True. I guess there's only one way then.
yeah, and I can imagine right now Flostovic is aware of Brodovic, but I can imagine the worm hunters are not so much aware about us Brodovic people, ships, relations with Flostovic.
So forest it is then, by sort of loose consensus, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Gorm missed most of that vote there. the,
Hey, if most of the party decided we're going through the forest, and through the forest.
Like
There is a safe place in the Covenant to dock the ship. I'm fine.
yeah. Yeah. But before we go through the forest, we had to get a bit more friendly with the Sentinels Covenant somehow, if we want their help through the forest to Brada.
well, having helped these guys repair their ship, they have welcome to bring you back with them. So if you are traveling with them, you will be able to go to a small dock that is somewhere along the coastline, probably an hour or two away. But you would be able to join them, and they would be able to vouch for you somewhat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I imagine during the process of fixing their ship, we give our prisoner back along with their artifacts, their bag of artifacts, of figurines of wondrous power.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then you follow along with their ship, and as the sun slowly starts to peek over the mountains on the horizon, that you see the giant is looking longingly towards. You approach the pristine beaches and the dense forests beyond them, where you can see there is a small dock that is set up here, and it looks quite well hidden, but you manage to um, dock your ship beside the other, and it's quite exposed here on the coast, but it's like the actual, there's like a little inlet where you are able to hide the ship away somewhat. Just looking. Yeah, in the distance you can see the Verdant Watch outlook, and there is actually you can give me some survival and perception checks, anyone who wants to, as you are pulling in here, and tell me what you're doing as you dock your boat.
Okay. I'm gonna make a survival check for Trimer. I can imagine for Trimer, he's kind of like looking around the area, basically taking note of the landscape and trying to be familiar with it as much as he can. So survival check. Oh dang it, 10.
Right, so Svenja is stalking the ear of her captain of the other tribe, finding out more about how he grew up and stories of the tribe and legends and fun experiences they've had. So I'm going to very deliberately fail the survival check because she's so distracted with this new person who is too embarrassed to say to her, "Fuck off, I'm busy."
I'll tell you what, you can make a history check though instead, as you're talking to him, and he's like trying to give you minimal information, but you are still getting.
Yeah, 23.
Is anyone else making these checks?
That is not the character sheet.
I imagine as Camilla is going, like what's called, like, getting to land. She's looking around, like, seeing if there's anything that is like, oh, someone waiting to ambush us. Is like, yeah, any signs of like some nasty business.
Okay, yeah, you can give a perception. Gorm, what was, I saw you rolled high for something and then replaced it with a...
It was insight. Instead of history, I accidentally misclicked.
Oh,
Whoops.
Okay, yeah, you guys, those low history checks were because that was just Brady Svenya's conversation with this guy.
Oh.
You can make survival or perception checks if you want to tell anything about the area. But Carmilla, as you kind of look out for potential ambush or something like that, you notice that where you are is sort of made to, like, you don't see any paths leading to or from this dock, but you will notice that there are trails here in the forest that, as a ranger, you kind of recognize that these are some animal paths that have just been used by the local rangers and scouts and things like that. So there are definitely some secret pathways through these forests, and you know that there could be so many ambushes set up here. There's probably traps spread throughout these forests, and without a guide, there's a good chance that the Sentinels Covenant could be quite dangerous in these areas. But right now, with these guys with you, you don't see any immediate danger.
yeah. Out of character. Now I'm just when you're describing the Sentinels coming, I'm now just imagining. I don't know if you know the American and Vietnam history, but I'm just imagining the Viet Cong type of defense
Yeah.
in the forest, dense jungle forest.
Yeah, it is very much that, just less jungle and more Nordic forests. But yeah, you get the impression there probably are like tunnels that are underneath this forest. There are probably all kinds of little like nests for archers to sit in and shoot you out of the trees, and the ground is probably littered with all kinds of like punji pits and like some some dangerous forests here. But I will say, Gorm, you also notice with the 20s, you notice here that there is a slight mist that sits on top of the coast here, that you can tell with your ship it should dispel that mist. The like Aegir does not allow that kind of weather around your ship, but as you see the mist kind of picking up as the sun rises, you realize that this is an unnatural mist that is being summoned somehow, that it is kind of being used as a light cover to just alter the visibility somewhat as you're walking in.
Noted.
Oh, and then Sven, your history check. He mentions when, as you're kind of going back and forth, he will mention to you that you said you're going to Browder. You know how crazy that is, right? That you said, oh, you'll come and visit when you come back from Browder, but not many come back from Browder. I know you are from the east, but that is not a place for mortal kind, or at least not for your elves.
Well, this is why we have our giant friend here, or Jorn.
Say more. What do I guess I don't know what we know about Brado so But why? What does he tell us about? It's not a place for mortals, especially elves. What are we traveling into?
Yeah. I think, I think also like to believe that Hyorin might want to be interested, or perhaps some insight on what he knew back
Yeah.
then and what's going on now.
Yeah, Hyorin's not waiting on the boat this time. He's disembarked, so he'll be right there with you. But I will actually, I'll say, to see how you interpret the next part, Svenja, you can make another history check with advantage this time. But I would also like Trymere and uh, someone who's familiar with giant lore. I think Mikil, maybe.
Mikil, most likely.
Yeah. A history check from. Oh, and Camilla, actually, you're also an elf. I always forget that. So a history check from the elves and a history check from Mikil, but Mikil, yours will have advantage.
Oh boy.
Oh crap!
Okay.
Crap, we're not rolling so high. Oh, there we go. Carmilla.
Miller
Fine.
gets it.
Favorite foe for the win.
Yeah, both Svenja and Mikil had advantage, and they both rolled not so high.
I'm cursed today.
So this guy will explain that he'll say, well, that mountain range is known as Emir's Lash. They say that once the heart of Emir was located in that mountain, but it was stolen by elves. I, I, I mean, this story's changed depending on who you ask. But as far as I know, that is where everything went to hell between the elves and the giants. And Camilla, you will recognize that what he is talking about is a story that you have been told since childhood. And when you reference this, like when Camilla identifies it, you'll easily be able to remind Trymere because Trymere, though you wouldn't be immediately familiar with it, Lady Kira, this would be like her favorite story. And Camilla, it is one that you've heard your mother tell, and it has been one of those kind of childhood fairy tales that has been repeated to you many, many times. But the story is a love story between Freyr and the first elf in Arania. And I will actually be able to show you guys.
Freya, as in the goddess Freya.
Freyr with the not Freya.
Her brother.
The brother, you know, the dude that no one ever remembers.
Oh, but now I remember because of God of War Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, yeah.
No,
Same here.
Uh,
He has that flying sword.
Yeah, him. Oh, okay, so it's the first elf and what was it again? Freyr.
Yeah, I'm gonna reveal a thing to you now. A second. Okay. Did something show up for you guys?
yes.
Yeah. It's
I
showing
don't
in
know.
Elvish text.
oh,
So I don't. Yeah,
Well, that's
why-
fine. Just learn Elvish, boy.
Yeah.
So there should be a button there that you should be able to toggle rooms somewhere, and I think does it not translate it if you speak Elf?
It does
Yeah.
translate it if it's Elvish, so it's perfect.
Hold on. Maybe it's because I don't have my character token selected. Hold on.
Oh, it's because you're not. Yours isn't assigned to. You need to. I can't reach it right. Yeah, Olasan, you need to click on your name. You should be able to right click on your name in the bottom left on the player list there, and just configure your user and then select Trimere, because then it will connect your. You'll
Okay.
always be Trimere.
Okay, hold on. So right now I'm in the player folder in actors. So I see my character. So right click on.
No, in the bottom left hand side of the screen, there's a player list. You should see some dots that shows who's online.
Not,
Let me
not
share.
for me.
Let me share screen. Okay. I share my screen.
Yeah, so press Shift S.
Okay, Shift S.
Okay, then click on the bottom left of the screen. Look in the left hand corner. Okay, yeah, Shift S again to get rid of the time. But can you not, if you hover over the left hand corner, all the way down in the corner, is there no player list there?
No.
Not for me either.
That's okay. Never mind. I will try and do it from mine.
What time are you fetching me tomorrow? I've also sent the schedule.
4.
4. Okay, same Friday.
Friday at 2, but that might change.
Crap. Not 2, please. I have house plays rehearsals every Monday and Friday until 4 now.
Okay.
Okay.
Friday at 4 is good.
Didn't show up for me.
If Carmilla has it, we can send it in Discord or in the chat. This for now.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Hello. Okay.
Sorry, Camilla has what?
If Carmilla can see, Carmilla can see it in common because she speaks Elvish. She can read it. She can just like copy paste it for the other other people that talk Elvish.
I mean, copy pasting it defeats the purpose of putting it in Elvish. But
I know
yeah.
for this for now. This is the result.
Well, yeah. It depends. I mean, this is basically you've now got this story that you can reference if you want. If you want to read it out loud, that's up to you. Otherwise, yeah, if you just want to say that you're translating it, I should be able to change that somehow. I'm trying to figure out how to. Yeah, sorry. This made more sense in my head than actually how one would reveal it.
Yeah. Well. Hey, tech
That-
issues kid.
Yeah, the problem that I was trying to resolve is just connect. Oh wait, yeah. Yeah, I can't see how to do it from this side. But if you maybe, I don't know, I have no idea how to get you to read Elvish without the player. So for now, yeah, Kamala, you can see that story there. But I will say for the others, Kamala, you can either read through that or decide how you want to share that with the group. But for the others, you would know that the mountain range is called Emir's Lash, and that where where he is where Hurand has been taking you to, he did tell you was like an ancient forge that is sort of in the heart of that mountain. But the rest, yeah, not so much.
Okay, so essentially, Yorand, how much danger are our elvish friends in?
The story you're talking about is ancient history. There's nothing to worry about. Merely children's fairy tales, I'm sure. Though, I mean, Kamala, are you sharing anything about that story here? Because Jorund may have difference of opinion.
You may have a different childhood story.
Yes, I'm sharing it. Since who knows, maybe someone else would have heard a different version. Or maybe heard some missing part of it.
So, what is the version you remember?
Something about someone named Freya taking the first elf as a lover, which the old father didn't approve of. So I understand this. If I remember correctly, Freya took the heart of the first elf, or was it the other way around? Hmm.
Giant lands. The story does not speak of the heart of an elf, but the heart of Ymir, which was once in those mountains. In the ancient times, when the world was still raw and the mountains of Ymir's Lash reached for the heavens, the Jotun ruled the frozen realms. Their strength was unmatched, and with the mighty frozen forge, it burned beneath the icy peaks, and that is where they crafted wonders of ice and stone. Their forges were powered by the heartbeat of Ymir, the first giant whose body formed the very foundation of the world. But Ymir's heart was no ordinary heart. It was a colossal pulsating core of power and life buried deep within the mountains. Its beat resonated through the ground itself, its blood the source of the giant's strength and vitality. The frost giants revered it as their greatest treasure, the sacred relic that embodied their heritage, their heritage and their connection to the primal forces of creation. It was one fateful night when the moon cast a pale light over the icy peaks that the elves launched their attack and crept into the depths of Ymir's Lash, using the magic to weave illusions and shadows, their movements silent and swift as the giants, weary from their endless battles, were caught off guard. They had fought valiantly to protect the sacred heart and fought against the ancient mechanical titans that had come to claim them in the years before. But there, when the elves attacked in the heart of the frozen forge, they found Ymir's heart, and they took it with them. This was the theft that your elven people have come to turn into some love story. They fled with their prize, leaving the giants to mourn their loss, and without Ymir's heart, the giants' power waned, and they were forced to submit to the will of the elves. They were bound by a bitter pact and fought for their new masters against the mechanical titans, their rage and sorrow fueling every strike as they lost these lands. Eventually, the dragons took over, and that is when I was around fighting dragons. All of those other stories were far before my time.
So, Yorin is saying, so so the giants they fought against the mechanical titans before. Like, was it against
Yeah,
or?
you can make another history check to see if you like get a crit or anything, but you would immediately know that he's referencing the War of Titans when the ancient mechanical constructs he speaks of are those are um, the artifacts that you've been looking for. That map is leading you to the ruin of one of those ancient um, or that ancient technology.
Yeah.
And yeah, with the 17, you know that this is the story he's saying is like this sounds like how elves managed to subjugate the giants into fighting for them in the War of Titans. And they ended up fighting against the dragons, which was the big thing. That they were mechanical titans on both sides.
Yeah, you guys were assholes.
Pretty much. But yeah, we fall so far.
Yeah, Carmela, with your nat 20, you would know that your mother being a dark elf is her story is somewhat different. Like that story that you were told is definitely like the story of the light elves and the elves that are left in Broudevik. It's like it it speaks of the first elf as this like beautiful, amazing creature, whereas the giants speak of them as this villain that subjugated them. So there are, yeah, depending on where you come from and which which region you're from, there's probably a different tale, but they all seem to be about this art that was stolen.
Yeah. Mm.
Which leaves the question of it should be okay.
But
Yeah.
but the question is,
Worrying.
so where is the heart right now? Like, is it unknown?
And anyone who wants to can give me a religion check. And I'd say Camilla and Svenja, you both have it.
What did you say?
Religion
Religion.
check.
Yeah, and then you said something after Camilla and
Yeah,
yeah.
you have advantage, you and Svenja.
Ooh,
Ah. Nat 20, nat 1. Which one do you want?
I'll roll. So see if they.
No, I'm gonna nat 20.
Oh no, 4.
Ooh.
And I think I rolled history accidentally again. Yeah, I keep rolling the wrong ones. But it's the same modifier exactly.
Okay. So yeah. To Mikkel and Crimea, you're not entirely sure what the like is the heart a thing that could be stolen? Like the elves speak of it quite metaphorically, or like it was a love story. Like this was so is the heart a person? Is it a a place? Is it some kind of like arcane artifact? It depends who you talk to. And yeah, the giants are speaking about it as though it's the source of power for that forge, but the elves speak about it as though it was a person. And yeah, Gorm, you have seen. Yeah, you would know that there is the. I'm trying to think how Gorm would. We'll get to Svenja's Nat 20 in a sec. Yeah, Gorm, you would know that in some of the visions that you have had, and in some of the sort of blood hunter things that you've been uncovering, you know that blood has been coming up a lot. How like there's the dragon's blood. You've even heard tales of stuff called Titan's blood that was supposed to be this like magical power source that the giants once used, and the idea of this heart, it it's like you've heard the mythology around um, the blood being connected to all of these things and realms of blood, things like that even Svenja has mentioned. So you're vaguely aware of how like the Titans and the blood of Titans and the blood of dragons and all of these things, they all seem to have been connected, and they all seem to go back to the War of Titan. But Svenja, with a nat 20, 27, with your trying to figure out like what's been happening with the Valkyrie and what that place is that you've gone to, from the things that you've seen there, you wonder if the heart that they're speaking of is not, it's not some like just trinket or some like a building or something. You think it may be a place, like an entire realm unto itself, that you've been inside the beating heart of a giant. Like if you were inside Ymir's heart, that would have the same, like you can imagine that that's what it would look like in that place where you've seen the Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
And as you are considering this, there is another term that you have heard, and that is the heart of Valhalla, where if the elves' story is true, and that the heart of the elves was stolen and brought back to Asgard and given to Odin as this gift, with that check, you know that Valhalla was the name of the longhouse, the like feast hall that Odin built. It's not actually the name of the realm. It's just the feast hall. And that place that you've gone to that has become known as the realm of Valhalla, that could be the inside of that heart they're speaking of. And there's only one place you can think of that all of that has been sealed, quote unquote. And you feel it beating in your chest.
Wait.
Oh,
So
shit.
okay, wait. So the heart has been what?
We have to Kalimar someone.
Wait, Karabas? What?
Kalimar!
Oh, Kalimar. Ah.
So Svenja at the moment is under the impression that chest, or there's a link to this inside of her.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So 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 what from the notes I've been writing down. So the heart isn't a trinket or object.
Yeah, I'm afraid with your roles they're trying out, it's all kind of up in the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now mentioning that there were big fights with titans in those mountains, so you know that you might be getting close to to what you're looking for. I suppose that's more exciting to him than the actual lore. You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I've heard that story about the elves. Like
Yeah.
Kira loves that one, but
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah. From driver's perspective, yeah, he's not thinking too deeply about it. He's just thinking, just a fun tale, yada yada, and that's all he gets.
And that, to be fair, like Crimea has a point in that this is kind of it is just a like a fairy tale. They many of these stories are not historical like accounts of these events, but um, a lot of the time they are told as these mythological sort of sagas, and Svenja would know better than most that
Yeah,
these stories are often it's like there's real things that happened, and then some
yeah, but
skull has embellished something
yeah,
here and there.
yeah, I can imagine it's more like what happened from their perspective, what happened from that perspective, what happened from this perspective. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and like a story about this Jarl slaying a dragon. It it could very well be that he literally fought a dragon and killed it, or it could be like he he led his armies against some like evil king, and they just represent that king as a dragon in the story. So it's
mm,
sometimes it can be a bit misleading when you try and follow one of these stories as historical accuracy, and then
yeah,
you wind up in a
yeah,
place where you're like, oh, that's not what that was a metaphor. The whole
yeah. I can't imagine the bards telling the story, or they're being fanciful with it from their side. Anyway, yeah. So on our way to the watchtower after talking about Brada and the heart. So right now, from the Covenant perspective, no one comes back from Brada from what they say.
yeah,
Yep.
they seem to be expressing that it's a dumb idea to go up into the mountains. That it's a dangerous mountain.
Yep, that's why we have Bjorn with us, our ice giant friend. We tell them that.
Like, I wonder if it'll be enough. If if you're looking for some dwarven made things, I would suggest heading north to Logarnav. You'll have better luck there. At least they've got markets. But those mountains may not be how your giant friend remembers them.
Hmm. Uh, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, if it gets too dangerous for us, we may held back, depending on what happens.
I mean, at the end, what was the nature of our promise to the giant? Is this like an oath to help him, promise to help him, or kind of just a random incidental favor? I seem to think we had promised him to this in return for his help against Ellison or the
Yeah,
hag.
Ansel was
Some
he
Yeah,
kind of has you've offered to take him home, and he's offered to reignite the forge and let you have access to this like
yeah,
ancient powerful giant forge.
yeah. On the quest details, Hyorin's homecoming. So basically, our task is to come to Hyorin back to Brada, and once you reach Brada, ensure Hyorin's safe passage to his family home, and ensure that the people of Brada recognize him as an ally, and then our rewards aligns with Brada, Hyorin's special unit, and access to legendary Frostforge. In the
You guys
quest
don't know
log.
what is in. You don't know what's in Browder. his last memories of being there were 100 years ago. So
Yeah.
it's all kind of unknown to you guys at this point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Plus, if I remember correctly, that earlier greater restoration from the wolf disease not only curing the disease, but it restored some semblance of his. I don't know if it restored some of his memories, but it did restore some of his strength, from what I remember a long time ago when Onyx was alive.
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's battle ready. But yeah, his memories are definitely better than they were when he first came back. But again, he was dead for 100 years, so the that 100 years, there's nothing to heal. It's just a lot has happened in the last 100 years that he's unaware of. But he does remember, like he remembers those mountains. So having him with you there would be a massive advantage.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, a giant advantage even.
Hmm.
He.
Hmm. I think we're going to do the stupid thing to go to Browder. We appreciate the warning,
Yeah.
definitely, but we have made a promise. So Svenja's making a point of saying we have made a so to build kind of with the Sentinels a view of our character around keeping promises. He wants them to not distrust us too much if we're going to rely on them to get through the forest.
These guys that are leading you will they'll shrug and well, it's your funeral, I suppose. We've all got to get to Valhalla somehow.
Yep.
Just
From what I hear, there's no one to make funerals.
well, I'm sure there's plenty of spirits out in those mountains that can keep you company. And as you head a little bit further forward, you will see that he leads you into it leads you to what looks like the side of a wall of just some of the rocky outcroppings along the beach, and he's going to move a sort of covering that they've crafted here out of just what looks like vines and things that are naturally growing on the wall. He moves apart to reveal a tunnel beyond, and and they will they will lead you into the tunnels and start guiding you through the forests um, towards the tower, which I can assume while this conversation's been going on, this is where you've been headed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as you get closer and closer, you will approach the Verdant Watchtower. The Verdant Watch over, and uh, they wouldn't take you just to the tower. That was kind of that's one of the only obvious meeting points around here. But they would take you into the Root Heart Grove, which is this network of encampments. As you will see a couple of people that are camped out in these forests. You'll see a lot of them are wearing these green hoods, and they are wielding bows and arrows. They look much like um, the the sort of scouts and rangers that you see in the forests up north, Crimea, that you're used to seeing these kinds of figures, but none of them are elvish. All of them are like humans. Some of them look smaller. There's a couple of dwarves. They, and you see that they are just as you're going through these tunnels, you'll come across little points where there's like a cluster of them camped there, and they'll all give you some strange looks as you return, but they seem to know the guys that you're with, and you will not have any problem as long as you're following these people. no one will give you any issues in this.
Yep, I can imagine so. There's a frost giant with us. We stick out.
That is true. Keep forgetting about him. So
How,
yeah,
how does he actually fit into the tunnel?
that's a good question. He would not
Lots of
fit into
loop.
this tunnel.
Oh, ew. Wait, let's see if we have something like an spell somewhere in some piece of magical loots or something. Somehow don't think so.
Don't think so.
Yeah, they'll say, well, we'll have to figure out something. If a giant goes traipsing through the forests, the druids are going to be on high alert. Maybe there's something we can do to make him smaller, or
The crystals that we have to summon the mounts, Nightwing specifically, I don't know. Would he be able to go into that crystal with Nightwing?
Isn't it? Wasn't it just a creature and only one?
Yeah,
So I
suspect
wonder. Let me see. Nightwing is large.
yeah, it's possible. I believe that is that it's linked to the creature that is in it, though. Could be wrong. I think it's like it attunes to the creature. So you would have to make one of those empty unless you've got another containment crystal somewhere.
yeah. Bag of holding is not going to work.
I can make him. I can make him fly. If that helps.
Potion of diminution. Reduce effect of the enlarged reduce.
Reduce effect of a longitude.
Yeah, it's a shrinking potion. Pretty good.
Going through what treasure stuff we have. It's just not going to. Will it last? I mean, I guess it will be long enough for us to get to the tower, and then maybe the druids there can give us something a little bit more permanent-ish.
Yeah, I'll say we don't have to worry too much about the exact like if it's an hour, we can push it a little bit here and there, but it will put you on a clock before you'll have to get out of those tunnels. You can't, like, you won't be able to camp or do something like that.
It's going to be the only way to get him through it.
Yeah.
Everybody in favor, say aye.
Oi.
Good. How do I take this potion of diminution treasure like that? That didn't work. Well,
Wait, where is it?
It's in loot under Kraken Beast's Horde. No, sorry, I'm talking shit. The ninja loot.
Okay, did we not divvy that stuff up?
Not sure. I'm assuming if it's still in there, it hasn't been stolen by.
I can imagine it hasn't been used yet because it's the reduce a spell effect. So I can imagine it hasn't been used before.
Yeah, I don't think it has been used, but that loot, some of those things have definitely been distributed. So just double check if someone has got that on their character sheet. But yeah, there hasn't. I don't remember any times. Maybe with the gnomes. No, I don't think even then. So yeah, you have got that, and it's for 1d4 hours. So 4 hours that could last you like until your next rest. So I'll delete it from there, but it is yeah, you can roll 1d4 Svenja, and you can
Okay.
see
Let's
how
hope
long
it's a
this
big
is
number.
gonna last,
Let's
how
hope
much
it.
time
Let's
you've
hope
got.
it. Yep. Let's hope it's a big number. Big number. Come on.
3.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
And you know what? Because we are going like that would probably last you. You have been traveling. Let's see. Yeah, so that would last you to the next rest. I was going to say if you want to continue traveling, you may be able to expand that with the bardic inspiration, but yeah, you can only travel so many hours in the day, and you've already been going for about 5.5 hours by the time you get to these tunnels.
Yeah. Well, it's basically get him through the tunnels to where the druids can do sort of an enlarged travel through the rest of the forest, or some sort of, I don't know what, polymorph into rabbit. He might not like that idea though. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. You shrink down Hurent, and he's still large, but he's small enough to move through these tunnels, and it's kind of comical having been with him this whole time and seeing him just it's like as big as one of as Yormund was when he enlarged himself. So
Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna. Trimer is gonna cast. Like if he's having a bit trouble crawling through, can Trimer just cast fly on him so he can basically try to float through the tunnel?
it may smash my head, but I'm always happy to try something out.
How good is Svenja's relationship with him? Because we should tease him a little bit. So every time we get to a biggish root or a sort of a high step or a rock or something, she'd turn to him and ask him if he needs a hand to get up. Just because he's not small.
Yeah, he definitely accept Crimea's offer after like the second time that you do that. Oh yes, I'd love to fly. I'll even give you a piggyback if you want. Just you can't be offered a hand by puny little Svenja again. Embarrassing.
We love him too. We'll write a song about him.
If only you knew my power. He's, he's such like a frost giant is such a massive thing, and he's not even just a regular frost giant. But I love the idea that he's just like let's just bet as you go. I think he enjoys it too.
Yep.
So yeah, as you guys make your way through these forests, you eventually you pass through a couple of these little encampments, and eventually you come to the central hub of the Sentinels Covenant, a hidden refuge within the wilderness where they plan and prepare their missions, known as Freda's Sanctuary. And this is essentially their keep, but you can see it is just it is completely blended in with the natural environment, and just a it, it looks like a sort of dome of vines that grow into the canopy, and when you pass through, it is vibrant and colorful, and you can see that there are druids and rangers walking around back and forth. As you see on one side, there's a ranger teaching some younger, what there is a couple of kids. One of them looks like a bear folk, one of them looks like a dwarf, and the other a human, as there is a ranger who's busy teaching them how to use a bow and arrow. You see a woman that is currently surrounded by a group of these forest creatures. You can see that they are a couple of them look like wolves, whereas others you don't recognize. These seem like more monstrosities than beasts, like strange creatures that have probably come down from the mountains and evolved in these forests. But they definitely are much larger than your average beast. And you can see there's a woman that's just busy playing with them. She seems like some sort of beast master. And lastly, you will see Freda herself, Warden Ironheart, who sits at a table and seems to be discussing something um, with two of these scouts that are just giving a report to her, and you see her nodding and thanking them and sending them off as they make their way out into the forests again. And you are led into this little sanctuary where seems to be a safe place. The captain of the ship before will also say, "Welcome. Uh, if if you want to talk to our leadership, then that is Freda over there. Uh, the one with all the animals is Sylvie. If you need knowledge of the wilds, she's the one to talk to. And that is Root Warden Einar, that is over there. Oh, I didn't mention him. Oh, no, yeah, Root Warden Einar is the one teaching the kids how to shoot.
Okay, so she knows the woods, the terrain.
Yeah, the beast, the one with the creatures seems more the ranger. Sorry, the one actually teaching the kids is looks more druidic.
Oh, okay. Oh wait. So who knows the terrain? So right now there's Root, Rodan, Ana, and you mentioned that there's like a beast or some kind.
Yeah, so there's these guys all look like they are here and dedicated to preserving these wilds. This seems to be like the central hub where all of these people are meeting up. So you could talk to anyone and probably find out information about the surrounding areas, find a guide or whatever. But
Yeah.
it depends who you want to talk to. All of them have got expertise on this area.
Okay. Okay. Understood. Hmm. So. Hmm. So. Like Tyron will say, Tyron. All right. So, uh, what guys think we should talk to find basically a guide through the forest to get to Brada, essentially. Hello?
Yep. Well, I'm trying to think of some sort of druidic Svenja would greet them with after the cedar tower. I'm stumped right now, but something along the lines: may the sun shine brightly on the leaves, may the rain fall the roots of you and your people. Something like that.
Okay, get
Yeah.
that
And then-
kind of greeting. Okay.
Yeah, they that will garner their respect in these opening moments. But who is it that you're approaching? Are you talking to their leader?
Yeah, I think Trimer said he's approaching Friday and asking for assistance to get through the forest. I heard.
Yeah. Basically, since there he would know best. Which scouts or people are the best to get to the north west Brada. But first, yeah, I imagine Svenja give that kind of greeting first to the so what was his name again? The warden.
Gordon Friday. Yeah. So she's
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like C3PO. She's the protocol protocol droid.
I haven't had time to upload the proper art, but she is essentially uh, she she is a dryad who you can see her name is Warden Ironheart is what they're calling her. I realize we've had a lot of Freyas and Fredas and all of these lately. So yeah, she goes
Oh
by
yeah.
Warden Ironheart, and and she will greet you respectfully as you approach, saying, "Well met, strangers. What brings you to our forests?" And with my men in tow, and they'll all kind of give a nod as one of them approaches and will give a very quick explanation of um, saying that they have returned our artifacts to us, and though they sailed in on the side of Skokotoka, they wish to make peace. These are the slayers of Ailson, uh, the ones from Browder, and and she looks quite surprised at this and will stand up and approach your group as they go off to get some rest and recuperate. Your party gathers around the dryad as she looks you all up and down, trying to assess if these are truly the heroes that slayed Ailson. But she gives a smile to you and says, "Welcome. It is not often that we see so many elves in these forests, but you are welcome guests, and your Goliath friend as well. How can I be of assistance to you all?"
Uh, Trimer can speak up and say, ah, right now we are seeking some guidance through the forest northwest, leading to, well, we've heard the dangers, but leading to Brada. Uh,
To Browder. You seek passage into the mountains. I hope you are aware of what you are going into. Those mountains have not been occupied by mortal minds in some time. Only the dwarves truly know their ways through the mountains. But the forests, there we can guide you. There is a river to the west, and it would be difficult to traverse on your own. But if you were to head north from here, there is a bridge that one can use. Otherwise, we may be able to point you out to some of the crossings that we ourselves use. Beyond that, there are grasslands leading into the hills where I should warn you, there are some dangerous creatures, and we would ask that you not provoke them, nor try to
Hello.
show any violence towards them.
Hello. You guys hear me?
Yes, Senor definitely not in agreement. Well, actually, it'd be interesting to have some dwarves to accompany us, but our mini frost giant over there, she'll point to what she assumes Friday is assumed as a Goliath, so our giant. Um, believes that he might be able to help us navigate this. So this is why we're going there in part, is a promise to him. She's trying to get a sense of, can she trust this warden? How would
You can give me an insight check as you're speaking. You see, she walks up like almost uncomfortably close to you and seems to be examining you as she lifts a hand, almost like as if to touch your cheek, but doesn't quite. She just seems fascinated by you, Svenja, as yeah, you can't get a read. Like, is she gonna
no?
kiss me or kill me? I'm not entirely sure, but she seems interested.
Mm, so she's Svenja goes in sort of to a, it's not quite babbling mode, but a just a superficial chatting mode if she's not. So she will kind of gloss on the details that the captain of the ship, if he had paid attention, would have known about the travels, trying to get prepared to fight the hags, and getting yourselves and Skokotoka and anybody to either be neutral or on our side. So that's how we ended up with Skokotoka, and unfortunately entered a battle with your people, for which I don't know. We feel sort of guilty. It was hopefully something that we can put behind us. So she's not quite disclosing the what she's avoiding, the wanting to relight the forge thing. She's not entirely sure if this is a good thing to disclose just right now, because druids forge, not usually a good combination. They don't like forges and mining and stuff, in her experience. But speaking of giants and dangerous creatures, our friend over there, she'll point to your, what is his name? Jorn. Jorn is currently under the effects of a potion that makes him a bit small. That might wear off somewhere, and we don't really want to damage your forests by having a giant walking through them. So, just saying, that might be helpful. First, may we rest here? Are we sort of closer to the end of the day?
Yeah, not actually. It's morning. You guys sailed out at like midnight, so it's about 6:30 in the morning when you get here. Their day seems to just be getting started.
Yeah. Yeah. We basically took a long rest in the afternoon, and then
Okay.
left like late afternoon, and then left and within the early morning night.
Yeah. So maybe we should ask Sylvie to guide us through the forest and be on our way. Or do we want to have further discussions?
Like discussions on their basically the problems they've been having with the Worm Hunters Conclave.
Yeah, let's maybe explore that a bit. Your captain, whose name we don't have, but doesn't really matter, said that you are struggling at the moment. You're caught between the Skakatoka, Flostervik, the Worm Hunters Conclave. Would you care to tell us more about that? I'm not going to offer that we will definitely help right now, but I am definitely curious. Might be able to help.
I trust the men that brought you back here, and I know that they would not have revealed this place to you. They did not find you somewhat trustworthy yourselves. So you are welcome to stay here and join us. There is some breakfast on the go. But yes, the helping us with the Worm Hunters Conclave will definitely go a long way to forgiving you for siding with those fools to the east.
Well, I'm guessing we are still sort of sided. And she'll repeat the. So what I said to your men is essentially three choices. There is side with the hags, which would make you our enemy. Side with us against the hags, either as allies or fighting the same battles, not side by side, but against the same enemy, so sort of friends, or remain neutral, which I believe is your preference. You're more interested in protecting the forests. But she's going to repeat, it is important for us that the hags do not build a bigger army to come against Braudavik than what they currently already have. So although this is not really a mission to build allies, find an army, will not let the chance to have that conversation go past.
And I think that Trimer would basically explain that we apparently entered like basically as a somewhat neutral relationship with Sakatoka because before they were allied with the Hags, but basically through some diplomatic actions from us, we were able to convince them not to ally themselves with the Hags nearby there.
Well, I can assure you we have no dealings with any hags and do not intend to in future. Though I am saddened to hear that we have lost some of our people. There is no greater honor than to fall in defense of these lands. And if you wish to help do that, then for now, we are allies. But yes, you are correct. We seek no formal positions on either side of any political arguments. We only wish to be left alone and for these forests to become as healthy and lively as they can. Unfortunately, there is a lot of cleaning up that still needs to be done. But seeing as you are the heroes who defeated Ailson, I suppose I have you to thank, and it will not be forgotten what you have done for this bay.
Yeah, you might notice whenever someone's slightly uncomfortable, specifically, she won't say that, but specifically because she feels her, it was her and the Valkyrie that struck the death blow. So she's not quite, I killed Ailson, it's the Valkyrie killed Ailson. But she's not going to say that out, but you will notice that she flinches. The heroes of Braudavik, or those that killed Ailson. She's not quite absorbed that yet.
Yeah, you would also know that there is the way that a lot of them reference it, they do also speak of Braudavik, and like it was a big deal that you know Braudavik held off pretty much everyone else on the bay. That it is yeah, I mean, you are the faces of that battle, but there is definitely this. They even seem to refer to the elves as having been part of that. They don't know the specific faces so much.
Ah,
You are holding Aelson's spear, which is a pretty dead giveaway. That's why it's like, okay, you must be the one who killed him because you've got his stuff.
yeah. So it's more like the British defeated the Germans rather than Churchill Germans.
Yeah.
Okay, I get
Yeah,
it.
but
Yeah. So
but when they see you smoking a cigar, they might be like, wait, I think I saw a picture of you. Like there's some, you are
yeah,
famous enough that closer, like in Skakutoka, they know. They're like, oh shit, that's like the
that's her.
Valkyrie of Brown. They've got those. But these people seem a lot less like informed about what's happened in the world. They just know
Mm.
that there was a big battle with Bradovich and Aelson was killed, and you guys have allowed them to kind of reclaim this side of the forest. So
Yeah.
so they're like, yeah, we'll help you out here. Um, but but they definitely they are trying to figure out as you are in here. You can hear some muttering, and people seem to be trying to figure out who some of you are. Like they might have heard stories about what you look like or whatever. But Mikhail had a face back then.
I did.
Yes.
And likewise, they don't seem to recognize the hags that you're talking about. Like that also seems to be, you seem to be out of the hags' influence at this point. None of them, you don't see any signs of the troll's blood or dragon's blood. This seems like you've crossed over that border and it seems to be free of that influence.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I can work with that. Wonder if there is a short bio that Svenja has rehearsed for these kind of situations, or they can ask. But essentially, weaving through the diplomatic nicety to how to engage with a leader of a group. What specific is the problem with the Worm Hunters Conclave? Essentially, just a fight for territory and resources, the same as with the Sentinels Conclave. Sorry, these guys with Skakutoka. So is it this is just squabbling the normal Vikings raiding for territory or resources? There's no particular hidden hatred or other conflict, just normal kids fighting for playing who plays with the toy in the sandpit.
And also from what we've heard is that basically the Covenant's got is in between the crossfire between Sakatoka and Fostervik conflicts.
Yeah, that seems to be the main thing, is that they're just caught in between. They keep getting raided by people from both sides, and they're just like, leave us alone. We don't we want no part of your battles, like, because this land used to be shared and sort of under Aelson's rule. But without Aelson, they're like, no, we're taking it back, and they've just been trying to keep them out of their land as best they can. So there's no specific, like, even just those things that you return to them, they seem very grateful that you've returned them, but it seems like Skakutoka even kind of overplayed that. Oh, look, they stole this sacred relic. You start getting the impression it's more that they're just like, yeah, stop raiding us, stop coming in and stealing our shit. It, those things were maybe not the most important things they have, but they were treasured items that they are very grateful that you've brought back. And yeah, it seems like it's more just that than any particular like big conflict that they're a part of.
Yeah, and I can imagine that from both Sakatoka and Fostervik side, they're probably assuming, oh, this covenant must be sided with Sakatoka, or oh, this covenant must be sided with Fostervik. That kind of scenario. Since they're not siding with us, they must be siding against us, kind of scenario.
Yeah, it's tough to be neutral. yeah, if you want to try and sort of learn anything more about that conflict, that because they are clearly, as what the other guys said to you, is they were having to fight, as like using some of these guerrilla tactics, but they are clearly in hiding from the people that are moving through these forests and defending their land. So it's not a peaceful place at all. But that's what they're working towards. They're just caught in the crossfire of everyone else.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh, and for the giant, they've got a number of druids here that will happily help keep the reduce spell engaged. There's a lot of them have got like a free enlarge reduce once per day. They'll use that while you are here, because nobody wants a giant just suddenly springing up in camp.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
So are you guys going to continue your conversation with him here, or are you going to try and get some rest, as you've pretty much traveled as far as you can in one day? There was a lot of rowing and sailing, and yeah, if you
Yeah,
rested now, you'd be able to move out in the afternoon.
yeah. Let's do that.
Right. Yeah. Right now, is the plan is to get some guides to get to through the forest that leading to Brada, and then doing finishing the rest from there, and then coming back to after we've done our business in Brada, come back to the Covenant and basically discuss on how we can assist them somehow after our business in Brada. Do you guys agree with that plan?
Sounds good.
All right.
Also, I missed that Gorm's been gone for a while.
Yeah, his power
Why
kind
hasn't
of
come back? Well, I'll tell you what, we've got about an hour left of the session. Do you guys want to take a quick 5-minute break and hopefully can rejoin us? And then as the group takes a rest, and you can prepare any spells if you want to switch them, or I don't know, do the things you.
I'm fine with
Just
it.
grab
Yeah.
your- Sorry, were you going to say something?
don't take so. By that silence.
Listen,
Oh.
sorry, I didn't respond to your message. I thought that I did, but
Oh yeah. My
with
question
regards
about
to the blood
yeah.
magic, I not 100% sure about mechanics other than those are on the spell list now, but the that is more for the for Gorm and Camilla. That like
Okay.
where it says atavist for the for the class that you need, it would refer to that as they are like Gorm is a blood hunter and Camilla is a vampire. So there's this it's a
Theme.
focus on that blood magic. You can
Okay.
if you want to start getting into blood magic, you can try and lean into those things. But like you've got all of those other elemental magics and things
Oh
to
yeah.
choose.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But it is an option if you want to get into it.
Right, right.
But yeah, that might be something to look into at the next like proper waypoint.
Dave, sorry, I got called away just after I asked the question around what is the cause of the squabbles and things between the Worm Hunters Conclave and that. It's a fight for territory and resources, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thanks. Sorry about that.
I think I went on a long rant after that, but yeah, pretty much. They're getting raided and they don't like.
Yeah, I feel guilty for the work. I'll see if I can catch it in the recording. We are recording, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got the idea. Also tend to waffle on, but we were just taking a quick break as well. Hoping that Gorm was able to rejoin, but doesn't look like he has. That's all right. Yeah, sorry. Tonight has been quite bare bones as well. With, you know,
I don't know. I love the story of the Heart of Elven love story and the fact that there's a shared mythology which has been twisted by the historians to suit whoever's telling the story.
Yeah. Yeah, same here.
yeah, these maybe I should just drop them in chat so you can actually just read them at your leisure.
I would love that if it's possible.
Yeah, reading them out loud in session feels a little bit.
Yeah.
It's
So
like telling a whole lot.
yeah, and so far I'm really enjoying this like like the problems and conflicts, politics and whatnot. Like I'm very like invested in it. Where we're trying to be somewhat of a peacekeeper in a way, and while at the same time, some of the people from the Covenant say, "Well, it's although it's like noble, but it's also unfortunate because it's very difficult to impossible to try to unite all factions, where essentially you have to fight some factions if you want to unite some of them. You can't unite all of them. You have to fight some of them if you want to unite many factions.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? By the end of the campaign, maybe you'll have figured out a way. But yeah, as I think most military leaders that have tried to unite the world have found that you can only unite so much before it all starts falling apart.
Yeah. Basically, uh, so far, I'm thinking as a whole. So far, I'm thinking only this like this whole middle southern coast of like Flosavik, Sakadoka, Brodavik, and Brada, and the coastal areas should be like well united. That's what I'm thinking. Only this section of Mordia is united. can be united. Right now, the problem is Rand's undersea colony.
Well, I will point out where you guys come from, that region, you live sort of under the king. So Onvik is like the where the king lives, and that's kind of the capital. So
Yeah.
the lands that are basically below that and uh, leading towards the east, that is all united under the king. But where you guys have gone, like going to Skakatoka, you've crossed the border into Nayanem, so you are in like a territory that you are foreigners here. And after killing Ailson, yeah, you broke up everywhere that was united, and you guys were kind of the ones who divided them. But who knows? Maybe you'll be able to put them back.
Okay, I thought you understand it now, but yeah, as I said before, we are kind of like knitting back up the conflicts that are occurring now that the Ailson's the cities he took over are now divided again. So we're basically needing to back up, hopefully forming a close relationship with Brodovic in the process.
Yeah, I hope it all is making sense because I can understand how
Yeah,
you can very quickly get out of it.
yeah. Looking at the color coded of the nation, yeah, basically the spheres of influence of the color coded sections of the nations of Mordia.
Wait, can you see all of those?
The color coded parts of it, yeah.
The spheres of
Oh, we see the sphere of influence of Brodovic, but the other nations, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see on my map I can see them all, so I know where all the like where the
Okay.
conflicts are. So you can research that, and I can like reveal that to you. I'm not 100% sure how to reveal it because I think I tried with another one and it didn't work.
But we do see like the color coded parts of basically this is the middle section of Mordia. This
Oh,
the purple and then light blue.
yeah, so those divisions are like the those are the sort of three main areas.
Yeah.
Well, and then the other purple is battling it. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But we're not going to get too much into that lore right now.
Yeah.
Because you guys are. We start on the smaller scale of the problems of Serpent's Bay, and yeah, everyone's ready to continue. We will continue at about 2:30 in the afternoon when it has passed the hottest part of the day, and the druids are a couple of the rangers and druids come up to you and ask if you would like them to lead you to the bridge to the north, or if you would like to try and find an alternative way of crossing the river that might be somewhat more dangerous.
Mm-hmm. I vote for the bridge to the north. I trust in the druid's familiarity in the area.
That will lead you to a road which you could take all the way to Browder if you were to follow it, but if you want to cross the grasslands, it would be an easy route from there as well.
Okay. Well, right now I feel like it depends on which route is the fastest to us. No matter the danger, we can handle the danger. Just which route is the fastest? I think at this point.
I mean, a road is always faster, but
Okay.
that's up to you guys. Like there are rivers and things if you're using the boat, if you're on foot. It's grassland on the other side, so you're probably not you probably won't be slowed down too much, but a road would always be quicker. Although the road is leading in the other direction. If you see the dotted line, that's the road that they're talking about.
Okay.
Would lead
Yeah.
you
So what do you guys think?
towards
Right now,
where
PK.
that's-
Yeah. What do you guys think? You think of taking the dotted road or just gotta go through the grassland and the eventual mountain?
I mean, who says we have to do only one or the other? We could like take most of the road through the forest, like cut through it, and then go back to the road once it seems obvious. Well, I'm not sure if that's actually worth it, or if it's just. Hmm.
So there is a nearby river that could be crossed, but I will say they'll also point out the reason we would say go up to the bridge is because there is a bit of a cliff in that direction. There's the river becomes a waterfall, so
Okay.
that's why it's
So, yeah.
dangerous close to here, but it is also a good defense. If you have some way to get down off a cliff, it might be a faster route.
Okay then. Still taking the bridge first, and then going through the blue grasslands. Like like Trimer's feeling confident of getting through the grassland terrain, other than the road, like going straight instead of taking the dotted lighted road all the way through.
I guess there's only one way to see if that's like confidence is well rooted, or if we're just gonna be reckless. Yeah. I mean, we'd have to cross the bridge anyways, right?
Yeah.
Because the cliff,
Yeah.
like that. I think Camilla and I are like the only people who can get down kind of safely unless we use further falling. So, but either way, I'm down.
Anyway,
Okay, so are you going bridge or waterfall?
Waterfall.
okay, waterfall. Let's go.
All right.
Okay. As yeah, that is pretty close to where you guys are. It's kind of on the edge. It's the one border of this sort of encampment.
Like right here or there.
Yeah, it's that right there where the curve of this river is.
Ah, okay. Okay, got it.
That's where the waterfall is, and we do actually have a map.
Oh,
Give me a second, but yeah, as you are led over to the waterfall, you approach the edge of this kind of cliff, and you can see that there are a few. You might be able to actually climb your way down. There are a few spots you might be able to do it, but it is definitely a treacherous climb. Maybe not as bad as when you went when you climbed up to the
it's in the fortress.
to the fort. Lost them. Okay, yeah. So actually, the map is kind of limiting. Yeah. So we're going to say you approach the edge. I'm not going to be able to put you on the map until you decide how you want to get down. But I can hopefully show you the map. Can you guys see on here when it goes?
It says, "Do not own any token with vision in this scene."
Now I'm gonna should be able to see. So
Okay, yeah.
here's the waterfall up on the top right, and you guys
Okay.
are kind of on the edge of the map right now. Depending on how you try and get down,
Mm.
I'll
You guys
put
have
your tokens.
Yeah. Do you guys have a feather fall spell?
I do have further fall, yeah.
Oh, nice. So that's like up to 5 creatures. So I imagine you use it twice. Or
Well, I can just walk down. I'm pretty sure Camilla can also just walk down.
Yeah.
If
Svenja
I'm not-
will summon Nightwing and fly down. And I can do fly or levitate if needs be on someone.
so that means there's the 3 elves, including Crimere and the giant, and then there's Mikhail. Yeah, that's 5 total.
Well, those walls ain't gonna walk themselves.
True.
Yep.
So
Yep,
who am I
so I can
casting
imagine
further fall on?
Yeah, for Carmela Sonia, they're able to get down, and then Mikhail can cast Featherfall on the rest of us to get down.
Okay. Yeah. What do you guys want to describe? What it looks like as each of you goes over the edge, and much to the surprise of the rangers and druids that are walking with.
I can imagine that's Miklas casting the spell. Like maybe one of the elves is scared, so you just like push them forward, like have a go.
Yeah,
Just
or
see you on the bottom.
yeah, or I can imagine like basically Hyorin is carrying like the 4 of us, the 3 elves and Mikhail. Since
Oh
this is
no,
Mikhail's
I'm
casting.
walking down.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Do you think you'll leave Huron in the small form at this point, or? I mean, he also might just be able to climb down the mountain. The mountain isn't that much of a problem to a giant.
Okay.
And I don't know. I guess the potion has been worn off by now.
Yeah.
Well, the druids could have kept it going for like another hour or two. So if you want to, as you're traveling, if you wanted him to stay smaller, to stay more hidden, then you could do that. But are you going to let it expire as he leaves, or are you going to get them to recharge it for another hour or two?
Trimer votes let it expire. I feel like it's better to travel while he's big, so he can have uh, like a like a bird, like a heightened perspective of seeing in the distance.
Yeah, let it wear off.
Yep, let it wear off. Yeah, keep him giant.
Yeah. So as he jumps off the edge, it wears off, and he just slides his way down with his giant axe, not sliding very far, just splashing down into the river below. And he will be able to kind of help anyone else that, uh, if there were any checks that needed to be made. I mean, the feather fall pretty much gets you all down safely. But if anyone stumbles, he would be able to help you, and you'll find your way down onto that ridge. You can pretty much move all the way down while the feather fall is up. But as you all land down at the bottom, you can see that there is a river that needs crossing, but with Huron's help, we aren't even going to have to make checks. He will be able to easily help you guys cross the river, and it is really not that big. He just places his axe down, and you've all got a decent bridge where it is. I will also ask everyone to please make oh, actually, I can ask now probably. A perception check.
Ah, sorry, wrong one. 14.
I have not managed to roll above a 10 today.
Oh, you had a literals in your. Wait, no, never mind.
I mean, there's something dodgy going on with rolling. To be true.
Because the DM has yet to make his bed. That's why.
I
We're
scored like
taking-
I rolled a 2. What the fuck's my perception? That's like
Yeah, not great. Okay, so yeah, with that comma and Crimea, you guys would notice that this river is not flowing as strongly as it should. With the power of that waterfall, it seems like there's not quite enough water. You follow the river up, and you can see from the waterfall, you see what looks like a creature emerging, and you notice a giant water elemental that starts to move its way out of the waterfall, like it is part of the waterfall coming alive.
Friend of yours? Shout up at the druids.
You see them peeking over, and you will notice with your passive insight just a slight moment of like a grin on one of their faces as they all disappear over the edge, and one of them shouts, "Good luck!"
Okay.
As yeah, you see this massive water elemental coming towards you. I'm going to make it to
That big.
yeah, that is to scale. It is about the same size as Hjorund, as you,
Oh, wow.
you see the whole waterfall like moving towards you. Yeah, what would you guys like to do as you see it taking form?
Well, the druid said good luck, so I assume we fight it.
If anyone wants to actually make an active insight check on those druids, you can. But I just mentioned
Yeah.
that they smoke.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I think Trevor can do that. Yeah, like he's curious what they meant by that. Good luck. Fight it or something else. Ah, no, natural one.
17. That's not bad. Svenja is not an insighty person.
Okay, yeah. So Trime, you're like, yep. I heard good luck. Time for battle.
Yes.
But Svenja, you having spoken to them and having spent some time with the druids, you get the impression that this creature, like if it's attacking you, it's very close to their camp. There's a much bigger chance that this is an ally of the druids. Like, why would it immediately be attacking you unless they are like your two options are either they are betraying you and this is a trap that they've just led you into, or this is some sort of a test. You guys should be able to move your tokens. You are currently
Yeah.
still up on a ledge there outside the mountain.
Yeah. Yeah, we should.
Okay, I am trying to put Svenja on Nightwing. How do I do that? I click her and then I click shift.
Yeah, that thing doesn't really work anymore. You're gonna have to just move them together.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the mount up module is no more.
Okay.
I'm trying to find an alternative, but for now, yeah, you can just move them together. You will see as you are jumping off this ledge onto Nightwing that Hjorund is looking over his shoulder at the elemental, and he's still got his axe down on the ground like as a bridge, and he goes, "Come on, puny ones, get over the river so I can smash this thing."
Hmm. Right. Don't fight us. What would Svenja shot at the elemental? I don't know. Do we want to fight the elemental?
I
Are
don't
you
think
sure
so.
you
Like
want to
with
get
your
hurt?
like with your insight, I don't think so. Like,
Well, with your inside Trymere, that thing's coming to kill you. That you definitely
yeah, true.
a battle about to commence.
Yeah, true. Ah man, tokens are colliding something.
That's because
Are
this
you
one
running
has.
into a wall? Sorry.
Yeah.
Ooh, water sound effects. Svenja's going to use Convey Intention as a spell. It's a cantrip. And tell the elemental the simple concept of peaceful crossing. Help us cross. We're just crossing. No harm.
Yes, reverse.
You can make an animal handling or a nature check.
Crap.
Oh, I imagine wisdom is not your strong skill check.
There we go. Intelligence, nature.
Right. The bard's always a little bit good at
Ooh,
everything.
Okay. Dice is on my side.
nat 20. Nature.
Okay, so yeah, as you fly up in front of this elemental, this entire waterfall that's moving towards you, and the rest of you start going across Huron's axle, making your own way across the river. You cast the spell, and you see the waterfall like rush in towards you as though it's about to attack, and you know that much water would bring you out of the sky in an instant, and you are sprayed with the water. But just before this wall hits you, it stops, and you will see it kind of flow back as the waterfall stops under your command here, and you get the impression that it's there's something like you've gotten through to it somehow, and it seems to stop and regard you. The danger is not gone yet, but you will notice a glow coming from within it, and it says something to you in primordial, which does anyone speak Aquan or primordial?
Aquan or primordial? No.
Where the hell are the languages I speak?
Yeah, they're
Nah.
in your character sheet. Double click and it's it should be on the. Oh wait, hold on. Checking features or wait no.
If you just click on your token and above the chat box, you should see a little drop down. You should see the known languages in there that your character knows. Crimea might not have that because of the same problem as earlier.
Yeah. Right now, Trimer only has a Elvish, a Draconic, a Giant.
No, Celestial, Common, and Giant.
Hey, does anyone have the spell comprehend languages?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you wouldn't even realize that it's speaking. It would just sound like the rushing of a waterfall, but you would kind of see a glow from within as you feel this rumbling in your chest as the impact of this waterfall is, just reverberating in all of your ears, and you feel it in the ground. Are the rest of you making your way across the river?
Yeah.
Because you can move your toe.
Okay.
But Svenja, you get the impression that it is regarding you, and it has halted its attack for the moment. You've got a chance to interact with this thing. It seems to understand your intention, and but yeah, it's going to come up to some kind of charisma check, a persuasion, deception, intimidation, depending on how you want to try and approach this thing.
Using that. What will we do? She's going to use the Science of the Valkyrie, which is essentially just druid craft on superpowers. And create the sound of rain, but if she can pick up the cadence of the rumbling of, is any sort of natural rhythm to it, or if not, just the sort of the sound of rain that sort of goes in and out like zhing, zhing, around her, and hopefully that is calming. And then she's again going to in Giant this time say we just want to pass peace. So she's using that rain to amplify sort of thrumming, pulsing feeling of her voice, almost like a calming, let us pass calming sense. It's like a full-on sensory experience, scratch and sniff, 3D cinema.
Yeah, I'd say for that you can make it a performance check. For the others, you can give me an Arcana check for the others, that you may know something about elementals and about the actual nature of this creature beyond just.
Oh,
Man, Svenja is on a roll with the rolls.
Oh my fucking god.
Meanwhile, Mikhail, you're on the single-digit rolls as always.
Youch.
Okay, yeah. So you guys, with those Arcana checks, you can tell, that is a giant water elemental that is. It seems like, yeah, Camilla. it looks like the waterfall woke up. But to the others, you know that this is probably the work of a spell, like that someone has conjured this thing here. It probably isn't just a natural phenomenon. This must be one of the defenses of the druids, and um, it- you know that there are certain ways to deal with a water elemental, but as you are figuring those things out, Svenja, with the nat 20, you essentially befriend this creature, and you pass the test of these druids as you manage to convince this waterfall to basically go back to its place and rejoin the river as you see it starting to recede back in the direction that it came from, and you will hear a, a voice coming from the cliffside, just as the dryad from before, I mean, the druid from before that was teaching the kids just steps over, and you see them silently look down at you, just give a nod as you realize that they were the ones testing you, but you, with those nat 20s, have managed to avoid a battle and prove that you are friends of the forest.
So, man,
Well, lucky.
yeah, I must say, Svenja, you're MVP this session. Yeah, and just think you session.
uh, dice rolls only. Yeah, so we'll do a sort of a flourishy, twirly thing with Nightwing and wave goodbye to the druids and continue our way. Oh, we are essentially out of the forest now. We don't have to be worried about traps. This is not the area that they're protecting. Or did we ask someone to guide us through the forest and they've just dumped us over the edge?
No, well, they've kind of taken you. They were going to guide you to get to the other side of the river, but you chose the fastest route, which here could have been a lot more dangerous. And now that you have passed that test so well, you should have a clear path moving forwards. There may be wild creatures. You may encounter more of those, which they've asked you to not kill. But it seems like you've proven that you would take that path. So they seem to um, yeah, you get the impression that you are not in danger from the Sentinel's Covenant. However, you are moving now. We'll go back to the other map so you can see. You are essentially here on the other side of the river, and you can see up ahead where the road continues. That you will eventually meet up with the road as you're now um, heading up the hill and away from that waterfall. But you are now in the Worm Hunters Conclave territory, and they may be a danger as well. So anywhere at the moment, as in the direction you're heading, is the conflict zone that you may encounter conflict between the Sentinels Covenant and the Worm Hunters Conclave. But other than that, you just know that it's grasslands on the other side of that road, and leading all the way up to Browder.
So we'll hide behind the giant.
Again, it's pretty much, do you want to face the wilds of those grasslands, or do you want to follow the road and potentially encounter the wild men of the worm hunter?
Into the wild grass, into the long grass we go.
Yeah, it's the long
Yep.
grass. Right now, I was I was gonna make a Pokemon joke, but I don't know what kind of Pokemon joke to make.
Well, we might find an elk that Camilla can try and ride and get it killed by tigers or something. Oh no, wait, that's already happened. That's not a vision, that's a memory.
Really?
Is it Carmilla that tried to ride the elk?
Yes.
Yeah, Commodore's
So
not
see,
had the
as
best.
we're walking through the grassland, this is the stories that about growing up that Svenja will share with Trimir and Jorn.
To that point, you may also realize, Svenja, that without Yormund here, wolves may be a problem for you guys again. Having Shepherd with you all those years, you guys really haven't had to deal with packs of wolves attacking you, except maybe that one time. But
Yeah, the werewolves.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but those
true
were
that.
werewolves.
Out of character, did Jormund died? Did he?
No,
What happened to
he
Jormund?
left a note and disappeared in the night. He said he was headed to Jotunheim.
And he took Shepard with him, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, there was all kinds of prophecies and things, and so he left the group.
Yeah.
But who knows? Shepard may be living it up in Jotunheim, but he might not have gotten very far, as you guys will be seeing how much there is to encounter the two of them on their own. It's a rough journey.
Mm.
So yeah, until you come across a little skeleton with a big wolf skeleton next to it, you're not too sure what's happened to them. But for now, it looks like you are going to, if you're going to be heading into the grasslands, we'll get some exploration rolls again. Who's going to be navigating through these lands this time?
I wonder can. I wonder. I feel like it's fitting now that Trimir should take a turn in navigating through these lands, like Gorm through the seas, then Trimir through the lands. He also has proficiency in navigation tools, so it's fitting.
Hmm.
Like both
Okay,
survival
that works for me.
both survival and navigation tools.
Okay. Sounds like there are no objection.
No.
So you can make a check. I'm not sure if you actually have navigator's tools yet, but otherwise you can make a survival check.
But
As
Mikhail was able to basically make some. It's basically the artificer feature where you can make tools.
Yeah, but that's gonna take like an hour.
I mean, you could have done that during the rest if you want to.
Yeah.
If you want to say that
Yeah,
you
plus,
did, or
plus that last session you mentioned you did that. Actually.
Okay. So retcon, I made you a piece of navigator's
Yeah.
tools.
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, we can say at this point, because these are fresh tools from Mikhail, he'll also grant you advantage then on this first check.
Okay.
As
Okie dokie. Flame. Tremor, so tools. Okay, here it is. Navigator's tools. Advantage. Let's roll. Let's roll. There you go. A 20. Unnatural.
okay, amazing. Yeah, so as you guys spend some time here looking over the maps that you have, Trymir picks out the point on the mountain range you can see in the distance, and and you can see that there is a hill that is sort of blocking the mountains that you're first going to have to cross, and to most of you it's like, oh yeah, that's the mountain we have to climb. But Trymir, with that check, you're like, no, that's not the mountain. That's just a hill. We're going over that hill and then up a mountain. It's a hell of a climb that you're about to do.
Yeah.
But it starts out steady over these grasslands, and so you get the impression that you should conserve your energy, and you point everyone in the right direction as this endless sort of seeming field of long grass stretches out before you. There's sparse sort of the cluster of trees here and there, but you see those those hills and mountains looming in the distance, and you lead the pack forward into
Yep.
into the. Now, here is where the lookout is going to be kind of important, as the you walk into the long grass and it is very quickly taller than any of you. Not so much the giant Hjorund is wading through it like at waist height, but for the rest of you, you are having to push these long tufts of grass out of the way as you just walk in single file through. And here there are insects in the grass. You keep tasting the little like flecks of this long grass that are just filling the air around you.
So, Carmel, will you read look out once again for us?
Time to look. Let's see.
I can imagine you're on Huron's shoulder.
Brain. I'm thinking about like the grass because. Let's. Well, that grass is hard.
Gonna flash of genius that for 19 total.
Okay, amazing. With a 19, then you will make it as Carmilla. Yeah, this is not your kind of terrain. It's hard to see anything really through this grass. You notice that a couple of the clumps of grass have been pressed down, like they are. There's like little open patches where the grass has just been flattened, and at first you think, oh, maybe this is a trail of a creature, but they don't really line up to anything in particular until Mikil, you notice a a large pile of dung. There's you find a small pile of bear shit that you're like, no, I don't think the grass was just pressed down by accident. There were bears here.
That begs the question, were they druids or were they actual bears? Is this bear country or is this druid country?
Did they bear grill?
Bear grills. Grills
Do
bear.
druid
Yeah.
bears shit in the woods?
Man, it's talk of bear good versus now I'm thinking you think of Alison from Baldur's Gate 3.
No, bear 6.
This is a PG-13 campaign, no 6.
That might be why the grass is flattened down, but it at least looks like the bear that lay here was a very large one, and is probably nearby, judging by the freshness of the crap that you found.
Is it? I wonder, would it be as large as oh wait, is it whose dog? Like who
Shepherd.
was a shepherd? Yeah. Like we know it's a bear, but would it be? Is it as big as shepherd or much bigger?
It's hard to tell. The um the patch of grass that you find flattened, you can tell if something was laying down here. They were either multiple of them or one gigantic one, but it's hard to tell. You can make a nature check, but you would all know that the further west you head, the closer you're getting to Jotunheim, and the bigger creatures tend to get. There is like the giant blood flows from these mountains, and the chances that there are giant bears out here is pretty high. Yeah, make a nature check to see if you know anything in particular.
Nah. Kramer isn't that curious, but Yeah, I'll leave. I'll leave. I won't make the roll, but just leave as is.
Do you guys do anything else here to investigate, or are you moving forward, or are you trying to slow down? Or bear in mind, um, when you move slowly, you do get a bonus to your passive perception. So moving slower makes you more likely to notice if something is trying to ambush you or track you or something.
What do you guys want to do? Guys want to just go in and run, rush it, rush towards Brada, or be careful about the bears. Or now we can rush. We can handle if we get attacked.
We can handle the bear.
Yeah, so rush it is. We rush. I imagine Hyorin himself is like excited to get to Brada. It's like, oh, I'm almost there. Brada, here I come.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see my house from here. Come on, let's go. It says, oh, wait. You might want to pick up the pace. I think I see one. And he points at like above the grass as the rest of you notice just a large brown shape moving over the top of the grass, and you see just a shadow moving somewhere nearby. But as you're running, it's like you quickly lose some. It's like one of those horror movies where they're caught in a cornfield or something, but you're just in these things of long grass, and you hear the bear that is running. And as you all book it, I need you guys to make an athletics or acrobatics check, or let me know what you're doing to speed yourselves up as this thing is
Actually,
chasing.
wait, hold on. Actually, knowing a bit of nature, of how basically knowing bear attacks, I'm wondering, can we remain and just remain as a group and just yell at the bear like, we're a bigger threat, especially with Hyorin, like so a giant. You just yell at the bear like we are unfazed by the bear's threat. We are not prey.
I'll say you can make a nature check with advantage for that like real world knowledge, but the um yeah, nature or arcana actually for trying it.
Okay. Arcana, so advantage. I can roll.
Yeah.
Advantage. Dice roll. Hey, that is a 23.
Okay, with a 23, yeah, you get the impression that would be a great way to deal with a normal bear, but as you're running, you you see like moving through the forest, you see its face for a moment, and you notice it has these red glowing eyes, and you notice peeking over the top of these tufts of long grass, tall antlers coming from its head. This is not just a regular bear. This is a creature of legend. This is an ink black hulking beast that looks like it is cut from the darkness itself. It stands roughly in the shape of a bear, but now as you guys are booking it forwards, you see it move through a clearing, and you all begin to get this sight on it as you see it rear up onto its hind legs with these slavering jaws dripping with a foul black secretion, and the antlers of this massive elk antlers are just spreading from either side of these glowing eyes, now looking down at you as, yeah, that is a
Okay.
spawn of Chernobog.
Okay. A spawn of what again?
The Slavic god of destruction.
This is not. This is like very much a creature that you do not want to encounter in most cases. And yeah, Chernobog is not one of the Mordian gods. But there are many gods in Arenia.
Okay. So do we still make our athletics or acrobatics check of like
You're
seeing
running.
we gain some distance?
Run, run, run.
It's so. Oh, yes.
Because it's just a little puff of smoke that's disappeared. No. What? Yeah. What does it look like? How are you guys moving here? And I'll let you roll first to sort of interpret it. How fast?
Can't imagine. I can't imagine we're trying to find more. Like, I can imagine Hyorin actually leading the run and basically kind of like following his like stomp footsteps of going through the tall grass of like being able to easily like traverse through following his footsteps, like his large footsteps, like stomping on the tall grass.
Yeah, I'd say as you guys are running, he's kind of running over you and stomping them down as this bear is charging in, and you're just running between his legs as he's like clearing a path and trying to hold this bear off before it actually manages to get to any of you. But we'll go here in order of the rolls. Mikhail, how are you going at the front of the pack, just moving through here towards the mountain?
Honestly, do you know how the cloak of Arachnida has like the web spell? Like, how hard would it be for me to like manipulate it to just get a head start, like swing on the web, like kind of like Spider-Man, just catapult me forward? I'm not sure if that's feasibly possible.
I mean, mechanically, it's more meant for like Spidey
It-
trapping someone
yeah,
down than it is
entrapment.
web slinging. But hell yes, I'll allow it. You can make an Arcana or a sleight of hand check to try and like create yourself a little slingshot with the web, um, and yeah, use these giant tall grasses like a yeah, like an orb spider. You just throw one of these together and launch yourself forward. You basically make also you could turn it into like a trampoline almost for everyone to get a bit of a head start here. But
Alright,
you
good.
are able to, yeah. What does it look like as you Spider-Man your way?
Just you slinging one web to one tree and another to the other, and just like walking backwards. Probably also casting grease beneath my feet. Finally, get forward. Just get as much momentum as possible, and then just to fly forward.
So the rest of you following after Mikhail have got somewhat of a slip and slide with like web handholds to slide yourself across as he rockets himself forward and following closely behind, I think is Svenja. How are you moving?
I mean, this is flat grassland, or there's sort of little small tree stumps or something like that. So what
Yeah.
she's been running, and she'd be doing the free runner's armor, jumping on these rocks, and almost like you've seen the parkour where the guys jump from pillar to pillar. So that sort of thing. So it's like every couple of steps you sort of hop up above the grass and look at where the bear is. Like, where are you? Jump, run, jump.
And you just see those antlers getting closer and closer, and then even and every now and then just leaping out of the long grass to get battered out of the way by Huron as he's just trying to keep it at bay. And Trymere, yeah. So
I mean, are you familiar with the Fakawi? You ever heard of that?
The
It's like
what?
it's a bird with very short legs and every now and then. Fakawi, Fakawi. That's the
Yeah.
picture.
It's so primary. Close behind. What does it look like as you moving through?
I can imagine Trymere hasn't been like it doesn't get much physical activity. It's like oh man, it's so tired. You know what? Goodness, and he decides to he's gonna cast a fly on himself, but he's also going to use his meta magic extended spell, so it lasts much longer. So it's usually 10 minutes, but now it's 20 minutes of flight, 60 feet of flight. So Timer doesn't feel so tired running.
Yeah, 60 feet of flight. You just like a rocket right up to the front. As for some reason, this looks more like the Marvel game than the Marvel game I'm running. But yeah, as you fly alongside Camilla, what are you doing here? And why is she at the back of the pack? Usually she's right up front, but is there something distracting her or getting in her way?
Well, I imagine her like she just like being in the front at the start. Then she realized like, wait a sec, this shouldn't. She shouldn't be afraid of it. It should be afraid of her. And just like if you remember, like those, she just like misses a tree branch and just like does a swirl around and is like, "Witness me!" And that's how she ends up like at the back of the pack.
Well, you can give me an intimidation check with advantage to see as you may actually be able to scare this thing off. As
It's time to spin to win.
Yep. Hey!
Oh my god, it almost was 2 nat 20s.
well, one nat 20 is enough. As you spin around and just the face that you show, even though this terrifying creature is rushing towards you, you see it just stop and kind of double back as it screeches to a halt, and you just hissing, screaming back at it as the creature gives a roar and turns around and runs in the other direction back into the long grass as the rest of you break through the final line of the long grass onto the road, this ancient road that leads up into the mountain, and Camilla has managed to chase off the beast.
Ah, nice,
Must-
awesome.
For Vikings, we're pretty good at avoiding actually hitting.
Also, I can imagine Carmilla can catch up with her being very mobile and all. Her mobile feet.
Yeah, she's not far behind. She's right at the back and scares this thing off as
Yeah.
the chase is sort of ended by her there. And then
Yeah, awesome.
it's not far behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sounds you hear for a moment, you're not sure. It sounds like Kamala and the Beast may have just met in battle, but when you wait for a moment, she is the one to step through the long grass, and the Beast is gone. But yeah, is there anything you do there as you walk through Camilla as we end the session here at the base of the mountain?
Make a small fire, have a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Yep. Take a breather on the road. Yeah. Yep.
Yoren says, "Fuck that, we're so close. Come on, friends.
Okay,
Dragon
okay.
is just up the hill," and he's marching towards the mountain.
Okay. Joran is excited. He's like, yes.
Yeah.
Almost
So,
home.
Svenja's just smirking at him behind his back and too easy.
Yep. So
That's what we'll end for tonight. And next week, Brauda.
yeah. Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
what I'm
Awesome.
gonna say. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna say what a session. I was, and once again, I believe Svenja was